Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel and you're watching Step Ladder, and I hope that you all are doing fine and good. And if you're not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, then please subscribe my channel right now so that you'll receive amazing contents and videos from my channel that I will be uploading in it. And in this whole video, in this whole session, we will be seeing the part 7 from your NCERT class 10 CBSE chemistry part, that is your chapter 1 chemical reactions and equations from your class 10 science textbook. So this is what we are going to see in this whole session, and without much delay, let's start our today's session. So guys, in this whole session we will be learning about your redox reaction, which is your fifth type of chemical reaction and the last chemical reaction that's given in your NCERT textbook. So what is basically your redox reaction? So from the word redox you can understand, so when you break the word redox into two parts, you get reduction plus oxidation. So that is basically your redox reaction. So let me read the definition of your redox reaction, which I have given here. A redox reaction is a type of chemical reaction in which the oxidation states of atoms are changed. Redox reactions are characterized by the actual or formal transfer of electrons between chemical species, most often with one species undergoing oxidation while another species undergoes reduction. So basically your redox reaction is a type of chemical reaction in which simultaneously at the same time reduction also happens and oxidation also happens. Fine. So that is your redox reaction. So in a reaction, reduction and oxidation takes place at the same time, that is simultaneously. So if reduction occurs, oxidation should also occur. If oxidation takes place, reduction will also take place. Fine. So they are vice versa. If reduction happens, oxidation is going to happen. Oxidation happens, reduction is going to happen. So that is basically your redox reaction, and I hope that you understood the definition of your redox reaction. So let me move on with the next topic. So as I have given here the better picture here so that you can understand about redox reaction. So redox reaction, as I said before, it is all about your reduction and oxidation process. So what is reduction and what is oxidation? So from this picture you can understand that reduction is something that gets reduced, that gets removed. So that is basically your reduction. So reduction as well as oxidation can be explained in three terms. In case of three terminology, that is in case of electrons, in case of hydrogen, and in terms of oxygen, you can explain reduction as well as oxidation. So let me say what is reduction first. So reduction can be explained in three cases, that is in terms of oxygen. So in terms of oxygen, your reduction is nothing but it is the removal or the loss of oxygen is reduction in terms of oxygen, and gain of electrons is your reduction in terms of electrons. So when electrons get added, it is also your reduction, and when your hydrogen gets added or it gets gained, that is also your reduction. So gain of electrons is also reduction, gain of hydrogen is also reduction, but loss or removal of oxygen is also reduction. So I hope that you understood about reduction. Now let me move on with oxidation. So basically oxidation means it is the oxidizing, you are adding something, right? So oxidation can also be explained in case of three terms, that is in case of your oxygen, in terms of hydrogen, and in terms of your electrons. So basically oxidation in case of, in terms of oxygen, it means adding of oxygen, that is gain of oxygen is your oxidation, and loss of hydrogen, in terms of hydrogen, loss of hydrogen or removal of hydrogen is your oxidation, and loss of electrons or removal of electrons is also your oxidation. And in reduction, the oxidation number or the oxidation state gets decreased as you are reducing the number of oxygen. While in your oxidation, the oxidation number or oxidation state gets increased as you are adding oxygen in your oxidation process. So these are the three terms in which you can explain both the reduction and oxidation, and reduction and oxidation together is your redox reaction. I hope that until then it's clear for all of you. So let me move on with the next topic. So you can have a look at this image over here so that you can understand about reduction and oxidation very better. Okay, now let's see the activity which is given in your textbook to explain you, to make you understand better about this oxidation and reduction, that is your redox reaction. So I hope that you understood what is oxidation and what is reduction. So oxidation and reduction can be explained, can be seen in terms of three cases, that is in terms of your oxygen, hydrogen and electrons. So let's see the activity. So this is your activity 1.11, so which is basically tells you about the oxidation of copper to copper oxide. So you're oxidizing copper to get the copper oxide as the end product. So let us see what are the required materials to perform this activity. So you will require a china dish and 1 gram of copper powder. So these are the two things that you require, and a burner, and you will require a tripod stand and a wire gauze. So these are the things that are required to perform this activity 1.11. Okay, so let us see what we should do to perform this activity. So the steps involved to perform this activity is just one step, that in a china dish you have to add 1 gram of copper powder and just heat it with the help of the burner. Okay, so what do you observe after heating that china dish which contains your copper powder? So when you are heating the china dish which contains the copper powder, you are going to get copper oxide as a result, as copper burns in the presence of oxygen. So we are heating it, so it burns in the presence of oxygen, and here the end product is your copper oxide. The surface of copper powder becomes coated with black copper oxide. Why has this black substance formed? So this black substance is formed as a result of copper getting heated in the presence of oxygen. So when you're burning that copper powder, it's gonna burn in the presence of your oxygen, which makes or which forms a black color coating on your copper oxide. So that gives you the change in your copper oxide, that is your end product. So you are getting black color, so it's get coated with black copper oxide. Okay, so this is because oxygen is added to copper and copper oxide is formed. So you can even see in the equation 1.28, that is 2Cu, which is your copper, on adding with your oxygen, that is your O2, we are heating it, as we are getting, as a result we are getting 2CuO, that is your copper oxide. And this is an example of your oxidation process. So as I said that when oxidation happens, reduction also happens, right? So you can see here, so 2Cu on combining with oxygen, you're getting 2CuO, right? So if hydrogen gas is passed over this heated material, so if I am adding hydrogen gas to the CuO, that is plus H2, so the black coating on the surface turns brown as the reverse reaction takes place and copper is obtained. So when you are adding hydrogen gas to this end product, that is 2CuO plus H2, you are going to get a brown substance, that is your copper. So again you can obtain the copper as a result. So as you can see here, when I am adding hydrogen gas to the end product, that is CuO plus H2 will give me Cu plus H2. So this is, as you can observe here oxidation also happened, and as well as reduction also is taking place. So this is an example for your redox reaction. If a substance gains oxygen during a reaction, it is said to be oxidized. If a substance loses oxygen during a reaction, it is said to be reduced. During this reaction, the copper oxide is losing oxygen and being reduced. The hydrogen is gaining oxygen and it is being oxidized. In other words, one reaction gets oxidized while the other gets reduced during a reaction. Such reactions are called oxidation reduction reactions or redox reaction. Fine. So this is an example for your redox reaction. So from this equation 1.30, you can observe that oxidation happens as well as reduction happens. So simultaneously, oxidation also happens and reduction also happens. So CuO plus H2 will give you Cu plus H2O. So here you can observe that hydrogen gets added with oxygen, that is, adding of oxygen is your oxidation, and CuO, so it contains oxygen, that is, copper oxide has oxygen in it, but after the reaction it gets reduced, that is, removal of oxygen. So that is your reduction. So this is a best example for your redox reaction, and I hope that you understood this example very well. You can even have a look at this image. So this is going to help you out to understand about redox reaction. And here you should remember that you have oxidizing agent and reducing agent, which I will be talking you about later in this session itself. So I will be talking you about that. That is your oxidizing agent and your reducing agent. Fine. So let us see some other examples of your redox reaction. That is ZnO plus C. So you can just have a look at these examples so that you can understand more better about this redox reaction. So remember that in redox reaction, simultaneously both stuff is going to occur, that is your oxidation as well as your reduction is going to take place at the same time. If reduction happens, oxidation will happen. If oxidation happens, reduction is going to happen. So that is your redox reaction. So let's have a look at this two examples given below. And remember that all redox reactions are not it means that all reactions are not redox reactions. Fine. So you have exceptions, that your neutralization reaction is not redox reaction, and your DD reaction, that is your double displacement reaction, is also not your redox reaction. And basically your redox reaction are exothermic in nature. It means from the word exo you can understand outside, and thermic means heat. So they release heat, they evolve heat, so they are basically exothermic reactions. All your redox reactions are exothermic reactions. So now you are having an activity here, that is from your activity 1.1. you have to recall, that is where a magnesium ribbon burns with a dazzling flame in air, that is your oxygen, and changes into a white substance, that is your magnesium oxide. So the question asked here is magnesium being oxidized or reduced in this reaction? So this is a simple question. The answer is it is being oxidized. As a result you are getting magnesium oxide. So oxygen is getting added here. So this is your oxidation. So in reaction 1.31, that is carbon is getting oxidized to CO and ZnO is reduced to Zn. Fine. So these are some examples. So from the above examples we can say that if a substance gains oxygen or loses hydrogen during a reaction, it is oxidized. If a substance loses oxygen or gains hydrogen during a reaction, it is reduced. So this is basically a reduction and oxidation. So you can remember this redox reaction using these tricks, that is oil and rig. So oil stands for oxidation is loss of electrons. So as I said that we can explain redox reaction, that is your reduction as well as your oxidation, in three terms. In case of three terms, that is in case of oxygen, in case of hydrogen, and in case of electrons. So as I completed oxygen, hydrogen, the last one is in case of electrons. So in case of electrons, oxidation is loss of electrons and reduction is gain of electrons. So it is just the opposite. Fine. So you can remember as oil and as rig for reduction and oil for your oxidation. So oil is oxidation is loss of electrons and rig is reduction is gain of electrons. So here X is oxidized by Y and Y is reduced by X. So X loses electrons, Y gains electrons. X is a reducing agent, Y is an oxidizing agent. So remember that reducing. So in which reduction happens, in which substance the reduction takes place, that's going to be your oxidizing agent, and in which oxidation happens, that substance or that stuff is going to be your reducing agent. So that is just vice versa, it is just opposite. So if reduction is happening, that substance is going to be your oxidizing agent, and in which oxidation takes place, that substance is going to be your reducing agent. X increases in oxidation number, Y decreases in oxidation number or oxidation state. So you can just have a look at this image. That is, X gives you electron. So X is giving electron to Y, it means it is losing electrons, so it is your reducing agent, and Y gains electrons, so it is your oxidizing agent. X is oxidized by Y. So when a substance gives electrons to other electrons, so if a substance X is giving 2 electrons to the other substance, that is Y, which is gaining that 2 electron, so it is gonna have negative charge. So the substance which is gaining electrons, so if the substance is gaining 2 electrons, it is going to have -2 charge, and the substance which is losing electrons, which is donating electrons to the other substance, it is going to have +2, the number of charge. So if it is donating 2, it means that it's going to become +2 charge. So the charge of the substance that's losing or which is donating its electrons, its charge will be positive, that is +2. So if it's donating 2 electrons, the charge is going to be +2, and if a substance is gaining electrons, the charge is going to be -2. Fine, I guess that until this it's clear. So let's move on with the next topic here. So there are some rules to be followed while you're doing oxidation in redox reaction. Rules for oxidation state or oxidation number. Fine. So let's see what are the rules. So group 1 elements or group 1 metals. So you will have some metals in your group 1, right? So you have totally 18 group, and from in the first group metals, the oxidation state, I mean the charge should be always +1. And in group 2 elements, the oxidation state should be +2. And in fluorine, oxygen, chlorine and hydrogen. So fluorine is basically your halogen, right? And chlorine also is your halogen. So in fluorine and in chlorine, the oxidation state should be always -1. And in oxygen, it should be -2, and sometimes it can be -1 in peroxides and +2 in F2O. So that is an exception for oxygen. So either it can be -2 or +2 or -1. And hydrogen usually it is +1, and sometimes it can be -1 in metal hydrides. So when you are combining it with metal hydride, so when it is a metal hydride, the oxidation state can be either -1 or it is usually +1. Your chlorine basically has -1 charge, that is the -1 is your oxidation state for your chlorine. And sometimes there is an exception that except in compound with O and F, that is your oxygen and fluorine, it can be usually -1. -1 in oxidation state usually. So except in compound with oxygen fluorine, it can be like anything, right? So sum of oxidation numbers for a neutral compound is 0. It means a compound which has neither positive charge or negative charge. So neither it has any charge, so that compound has a charge of 0. It is neutrally it is a neutral compound, so the charge contained in that compound is 0. Sum of oxidation numbers of a monoatomic ion or a polyatomic ion equals to ion charge. So mono means one and polyatomic means more than one, right? So it's like the ions that carries charge. So the oxidation number for monoatomic ion or a polyatomic ion, it's going to be the ion's charge. So if a polyatomic charge ion's charge is 2, it's going to be 2. If it is -2, it's going to be -2. So the answer is going to be the charge of the ion itself. No other any change in this. Fine. So these are some rules that you should follow for your oxidation state or oxidation number. And I hope that you understood this, so you can just have a look at this, because this is going to help you a lot when you're going through this redox reaction. Okay, so let's see some examples for your redox reaction, right? So these are some examples for your redox reaction. So you can just have a look at these examples. So these examples are for your redox reaction. So that is aluminium on combining with oxygen. So as I said, that a compound that is either it contains positive charge or negative charge, the charge is going to be 0. So here oxygen and aluminium contains 0 charge. So at the upper above the aluminium you can see there is 0, right? And above the oxygen also there is 0. It means that it contains 0 charge. It means it is a neutral compound or a neutral element. So the elemental state is 0 here. So when it's combining together, you're going to get aluminium oxide. So here you can observe that +3 for aluminium and -2 for oxygen. It means that reduction and oxidation has taken place. As I said before, minus, so the negative charge will come for those element which is going to gain electrons, and positive charge comes for that element which is going to donate or which is going to lose its electrons to help the other element. Fine. So these are some examples. So it is the same for all other 3 examples. That is sulfur dioxide on combining with oxygen, it's going to give sulfur trioxide, and here also reduction as well as oxidation takes place. So this is basically a redox reaction. And the third example is copper sulfate on combining with potassium iodide is going to give you copper iodide plus iodine and potassium iodide, and here also reduction as well as your oxidation takes place. And you can even see here that +1 charge on the end product for copper iodide and 0, which means it is a neutral element or compound for iodine, right? So these are some examples, and the last example is hydrogen sulfide, which has -2, and chlorine, which has 0. It means its elemental state has 0 charge, is going to give as a result sulfur plus hydrochloric acid. That is, sulfur has 0 charge and hydrochloric acid has -1 charge. So these are some examples for your redox reaction. I guess that redox reaction is super clear for you. So let me move on with the next topic here. As I said before, that redox reactions are basically exothermic in nature. That is, they are exothermic reaction. So redox reaction is basically an exothermic reaction in which heat is involved or heat is released. And remember that all reactions are not redox reactions. So there is some exception, right? Your neutralization reaction, your double displacement reaction are not redox reaction at all. So these are some examples which reactions are not redox reaction. Means it is your neutralization reaction and your double displacement reaction, which is given in your textbook, right? And exothermic reaction means that in a reaction in which heat is evolved or released. So basically your redox reaction and all redox reaction are exothermic reaction. all redox reaction are exothermic in nature. So this is what it's given here. So you have two agents in this redox reaction, that is, one is your oxidizing agent and the other one is your reducing agent. So let us see what is the definition for oxidizing and reducing agent. So basically your oxidizing agent, it is an oxidizing agent or an oxidant or an oxidizer. It is a substance that helps to oxidize the other substance in order to accept the electrons. That is, I said that where reduction happens, that substance is going to be your oxidizing agent, and where oxidation takes place, that particular substance is going to be your reducing agent. So a reducing agent is an element or compound that loses an electron to an electron recipient in a redox reaction. So a reducing agent, it loses electron. Fine. So that is your reducing agent. So as I said before, where oxidation takes place, in which substance it takes place, so that substance is going to be your reducing agent, and where reduction takes place, that substance is going to be your oxidizing agent. I hope that until then it's clear. So let me move on with the next topic. So as I said before that oxidation and reduction, so oxidation is nothing but it's the adding of oxygen and removal of hydrogen and loss of electrons, and reduction is basically loss of oxygen, gain of electrons and gain of hydrogen. So let me read the definition for your better understanding. An oxidation reduction, that is redox reaction, is a type of chemical reaction that involves a transfer of electrons between two species, that is in terms of electrons. And reduction is the loss of oxygen atom from a molecule or the gaining of one or more electrons. So that is your reduction and oxidation. I guess until then it's all clear. So let me move on with the next topic. I guess that you all understood until this. So you have 4 types of redox reaction, so which is basically your decomposition reaction, combination reaction, displacement reaction and disproportionation reaction. So we have learnt about decomposition, combination and displacement reaction. So I guess you all are clear about it. If you are not clear, please go and watch my previous videos so that you can understand about these reactions. So redox reaction has 4 types of reaction, that is your decomposition, combination, displacement and disproportionation reaction. So in this series we are going to learn about your disproportionation reaction, which is basically your redox reaction, that is a type of your redox reaction. So disproportionation reaction, it is a reaction in which a compound gets oxidized or it gets converted to form 2 new compounds, one of higher and one of lower oxidation states. That is, your disproportionation reaction is it has the similar definition of your redox reaction. So even in your disproportionation reaction, reduction and oxidation takes place simultaneously at the same time. So your disproportionation reaction can be also called as dismutation reaction. So in this reaction, one substance is gonna combine together with other substance and it converts to form 2 other compounds or other substance. So in that 2 substance, one substance is going to have higher oxidation state or higher oxidation number, and the other one is going to have lower oxidation state or lower oxidation number. It means that the number of oxidation level or the number of oxygen is going to be lower or it is going to be higher. So the number of oxygen is going to be high or it is going to be low. So that is your disproportionation reaction. Fine. And this disproportionation reaction is basically exothermic reaction in nature, and it is called as dismutation reaction, and it is basically a type of your redox reaction. I guess you understood the definition for your disproportionation reaction. So I have given here two examples for your disproportionation reaction. So as you can observe from this example 1 and 2, that in example 1, among these 4 p atoms, that is your phosphorus atom, one is reduced to pH3 and the other 3 are oxidized to NaH2PO2. And in example 2, among these 6 chlorine atoms, 5 are reduced to NaCl and other is oxidized to NaClO3. Fine. So here you can observe in these two examples, reduction and oxidation takes place at the same time, right? So you can observe here, that reduction and oxidation takes place at the same time. So that is, here your phosphorus is getting reduced and oxidation also takes place, that is your pH3, right? And other 3 are oxidized. So here other 3 substances are getting oxidized here. And in the second example, reduction also takes place and oxidation also takes place, right? So these are some examples that you can understand this, you can understand about more better about disproportionation reaction. So basically your disproportionation reaction is a redox reaction. So the definition is same, that is, if reduction happens, oxidation is going to happen. If oxidation happens, reduction is going to happen. Fine. So I hope that you all understood this. So let me move on with the next topic, that is redox reaction in terms of hydrogen. So as I said that in terms of hydrogen, it can be reduction and oxidation. So in oxidation, it can be the removal of hydrogen. So when there is a loss of hydrogen, it is going to be your oxidation, and when there is a gain or when there is an addition of hydrogen, it is going to be your reduction. So as you can observe from this example, that your hydrogen is getting loosed and it is called as your oxidation in this example. And here chlorine is getting added with your hydrogen, it means it is reduction. Fine. So addition of hydrogen is your reduction and removal of hydrogen is your oxidation. So I hope that it is understood. So let me move on with the next topic, that is in terms of oxygen. So how can we explain redox reaction in terms of oxygen? So as I said that addition or gain of oxygen is your oxidation and removal of oxygen or loss of oxygen is your reduction. So it is just vice versa or opposite. Fine. So you can see here very well. Here carbon dioxide, so here the oxygen from carbon dioxide, it is getting reduced here, so it is your reduction. And in hydrogen, oxygen is getting added here, so it is your oxidation. Fine. So this is your reduction and oxidation, and I hope that you understood this. So these are some examples in terms of oxygen. So before I said about in terms of hydrogen, like how can we explain your redox reaction, and now I am teaching you in terms of oxygen, and I hope that it's clear. So let me move on with the next topic. So here I have added a GIF so that you can understand about redox reaction very well, and in a better picture you can understand very better about it. So let me play the GIF. So you can have a look at this GIF. So from this GIF, I guess you can understand what basically means your redox reaction. That is, it's nothing but it is all about your reduction and oxidation. So that is your redox. Fine. So you can also describe about your redox reaction in terms of electron transfer method. So there is also another method like how can you explain about the redox reaction. So you can explain about redox reaction using this electron transfer method, and for this you should be very clear with that valency charge concept, right? So you can just have a look at your class 9 textbook, science textbook, so that you can understand about this charge concept. So using this electron transfer method, that is your ET method. So electron transfer simply means that it's just losing electrons or it's donating electrons or gaining electrons. So that is all about your electron transfer method. So let me read the definition. Electron transfer method occurs when an electron relocates from an atom or molecule to another, such as chemical entity. ET is a mechanistic description of a redox reaction wherein the oxidation states of reactant and products change, right? If you are going to gain electron, very sure the oxidation state is going to change, and if you are going to lose electron also, the state is going to change. So it can be of higher quantity or of lower quantity. It can be plus charge or minus charge. So you can observe from this example that you have electrons, protons and charge. So the charge here is for both sodium and chloride, the charge is 0. It means that they are electrically neutral in their elemental state. So electrons in sodium you have 11, and chlorine you have 17, and protons you have 11 in sodium and 17 in chlorine. So you can observe that hence the charge here is basically the charge is 0 here, both the sides, right? Which means that they are neutral charge. So their elemental state is neutral. So I guess you can understand very well. So if my sodium, it has extra electrons and it does not require that electron, so it is going to give that electron to this, that is your chlorine, and this chlorine is needing that electron. So if my sodium is going to give 2 electrons and my chlorine is going to gain that 2 electrons from sodium, it means now the charge of chlorine is going to be -2 and the charge of sodium is going to be +2, because it is giving electron. So the charge is going to be here +2 and it's going to be -2, as sodium is giving electron and chlorine is getting electron from sodium. So this is your electron transfer method is all about, right? So I guess you all understood it very well. So these are some examples like you can understand better about your redox reaction. So you can observe that if some element is going to give electron to the other element to make that element stable, so that element which gives you the electron to other element is gonna get plus charge, and the element which accepts or which gains electrons from the other element, it's going to contain minus charge. So it is E minus and E plus. Fine. So I guess you all understood. So let me move on with the next concept. Okay, so there is no next concept as of today in this session. So I have few questions for you. So if you are able to solve these questions, it means that you have understood this whole session very well and you have understood very well about redox reaction. So this is the end of our video and end of our session. So I guess that you all understood very well about your redox reaction. So please try to solve all these 3 questions. These questions are very simple and very easy to solve. Just you need to understand and just use your brain and you will get the answer. So these questions are homework for today. So please solve it and please post it in the comment section so that I'll check all your answers and revert them back. Okay guys, so that's it for today, and I hope that this video was very helpful and informative and useful. If so, please like the video, please share with your friends, and please comment in the comment section if you want to suggest something or if you have any doubts regarding this video. I will try to clarify all your doubts and revert them back. So please like, share and comment, and please do not forget to subscribe my YouTube channel right now so that you'll receive the amazing contents, useful, interesting, helpful and informative videos and notifications from my channel that I will be uploading in it. Okay guys, so that's it for today, and I hope that this session was super clear and super easy and you all understood very well, and I hope that this video was very useful. So please like the video, share the video, comment, and please hit the bell icon to get all kinds of notifications from my channel. That I will be uploading in it. Okay guys, until then, bye bye, take care, meet you all in my next video with the next topics and concepts from this lesson. That is, I will be back with part 8 of this chemical reactions and equations series. Fine, so until then, bye bye, take care, stay tuned, please like, share and comment, and please do not forget to subscribe. Bye bye, stay tuned and take care.